Welcome back to Tulips and Honey's Mega Live List. I am actually live this week, which is an accomplishment. I'm going to tell you what. This week, my literal only goal, I was like, this week I'm going to go live, and that's going to be a thing that happens. So even though I'm live in a weird spot, because I'm sitting somewhere differently today, but it's okay as long as the internet works and everything. Weird angles and whatnot, but we're going to get through it. It's going to be okay. And you guys can hopefully hear me and everything is working. If you're new here to the Mega Live list, before I get into all of the other stuff, this is a something that actually started over on the blog, where we wanted to give a list of recommendations, prayer requests, suggestions, things like that. And it morphed into a live event that supposedly happens every Friday, sometimes happens on Saturdays, usually because I get the wrong day of the week by the time I realize it's not in fact Friday, but it's Saturday. I've already set up and I'm like, well, I now have to do it. So, but anyways, usually I'm live here. The past couple of weeks have been rough, but we are live and we have a massive selection of Oreos to try today with Kaylee, because yesterday was her birthday. If you guys, said happy birthday to her over on Facebook, thank you for everybody that wished happy birthdays to her. She'll be down in just a minute to try this massive hoard of Oreos, because I got this special package from Japan. I think this particular package came from Japan. So I'm really excited. I think one of these is tiramisu. Pretty excited about that. So anyways, I want to say hi real quickly to everybody that is already commenting over in the comment section. Let's see here. Hi to, Jackie was first. Hi, Tammy. Hi also to Mark and Mayoshi and James. Sorry, allergies are really rough today, but it's going to be okay. If it looks like I'm tearing up, I'm actually not. It's just the allergies. Hi also to Chris from Cave to the Cross. Chris from the Voice of Reason Radio. There is links to his podcast and any of the other podcasts that we talk about positively. I don't obviously link to the ones that I would not recommend if we happen to mention stuff like that. But hi also to Sandy and my beautiful daughter, who I was just talking about, turned 11 yesterday. I'm so proud of my baby. Hi also to Kristen, and let's see here. I think I made it, and I think I said hello to everybody. Hopefully I did not miss anybody. If I didn't say hello to you, I might not have seen your comment. So just keep on commenting, and eventually I'll see your name and I'll say hello to you, because it's super fun. Hair looks great. Oh, thank you, Sandy. That's so sweet. I didn't curl it today, so it's nice of you to say that, because it's just my normal helmet of hair. But okay, so we do have some important questions to talk about before Kaylee comes over to do the Oreos. And hopefully she will have a drink with her, because wow, just there's some flavors besides the ones that I don't know the actual flavors to, because they're in a different language. We also have caramel coconut. I've probably mentioned this to you guys before, but I actually don't like coconut. It's not, oh, thank you. She brought me allergy. Appreciate you. You're the best. It's actually not a flavor that I like. So usually when somebody asks me if I want to eat something with coconut flavor, I usually say, jokingly, that I'm allergic to coconuts. I'm not. It's just a joke, and I usually explain that. But I really don't like the consistency of coconuts, but I'm going to try that just in case. And we also have chocolate marshmallow, because while we were looking at these over the last month, we've been collecting Oreos. I couldn't remember which ones we had already tried. Oh, Tammy, I'm glad that you also don't like coconut, because I'm outvoted in this house. Obviously, Justin loves like coconut cream pie and all that stuff, and the weird coconut cookies that you don't bake. Mark, thank you. The texture, exactly. I have a problem with the texture. So for my poor husband, he pretty much doesn't get any of the coconut treats that he likes, like ever, because I don't know how to make them, and I love coconut and pineapple on my pizza. Poor Sandy. I know. We're praying for you. Kristen's right here on cue with her sanctified taste buds. I can take it or leave it. Coconut is something I have to be in the mood for. See, that makes sense to me, Chris. It really does, because it doesn't have an overpowering flavor. I really, really hate the artificial flavor. If it's a natural flavor, it's not as bad to me, but the chemical-y version of it, ugh. Have I had fresh coconut? See, that's what I have a problem with the texture of. I still don't like it if it's been toasted, but it's not as bad. Have I tried fresh coconut meat, though, or actual coconut milk? I have had both, and it's really just a texture problem. So gross. Can drink the coconut drinks and use coconut oil. Yes, I see, and that's so funny, because I have used coconut oil plenty of times, whether it's like to actually ingest it or on burns or whatever it is, and it doesn't really taste all that coconutty, right? Like, I should try coconut meat one of these days. Sissy, you have. Remember when you were smaller, we bought them at the store and we cracked them open and we ate them. We ate some of the, but when I say we, I didn't, obviously. But you know, it was like a homeschooling thing. Anyways, we've gotten off track here. Is it really off track though, if this entire show we should start calling it the Friday derailed show, maybe, or the Friday squirreled show. Maybe that might be something that we might do. Anyways, so I have some great stuff that you guys sent me. I have some fantastic questions that y'all sent me, some recommendations for y'all, and then I have an extra long sneak peek for you guys because you've been without for so long. So I did prepare for you an extra long sneak peek of the episode that I recorded actually with Kristen and Patrick, because I got them both together. So there's going to be two. Oh, hello, Mr. Forkle. We're just hashtag not professional. Oh, hello. Yes. Kristen, you need to come get your son, because your son is here and he's bothering me. And this is because I'm actually on the couch right now with my green screen set up behind the couch. And this is a weird spot to be in, but I couldn't use any of the other spaces that I needed to use today. So I'm in a weird space. Sorry, the dogs can actually reach my face, so they'll probably be wanting to give me like kisses and stuff. But anyways. Patrick and I actually got along. You did great. They did great. It's either going to be 2 or possibly 3 episodes, depending on how at the end of the editing. I've been trying as much as possible to like keep episodes under 2 hours, and under an hour if possible, because I didn't realize how often my episodes were sneaking up past 2 hours. And so much of the blooper reel is you and Patrick not getting. Mark, that's a good question, and you'll have to wait to find out how much of that blooper reel is them being funny. I think at least the first like half hour was just us being goofy. But sorry. She did compliment him. That's true, and I'm fairly sure he had some nice things to say in response. I can't remember everything because my brain doesn't work, but I'm fairly sure that they were quite nice to one another, if I remember right. But before we get into 2 hours, what are you trying to be just thinking? They can get away with it because they don't do like constant weekly shows. So I feel like, okay, if I don't know when the next time I'm going to hear from them, I'm kind of okay with like a 3-hour show. But whenever it's just me being squirrely for 2 hours, it's just thinking, is that a different YouTube channel? It's actually a podcast. They are a part of the Bar Network with Dwayne, and they do a fantastic job. But they both are so busy. Daryl works for the Masters, or for Grace to You. And then Virgil actually works over at G3. So they've also got like all this other stuff going on. So they don't have like weekly episodes. Not that I have been all that great at getting weekly episodes lately, but hopefully my health is going to get a little bit better and the spasticness of everything is going to settle down a bit. We'll see. Hopefully, prayerfully, you guys can just be praying for me about that. But before we get into the questions and the recommendations, you guys sent me some cute stuff over the internet. So here we go. Here is what you guys sent me. This one's from Sandy. Pikachu's Kentucky cousin, Tobacco Chew. I just think that's so cute. His little hat and everything, and he's got the little banjo. That's so cute. That is just too cute. I love that. Oh, hi, a fair maiden. Hi, a bit late, but that's okay. We have literally gotten absolutely nothing done yet, so you're totally fine. The next thing that was sent over to me on Facebook, this one I thought was really, really funny. Squirrel stores 350 pounds of nuts in man's pickup truck. And apparently this is a battle that the squirrel is winning, according to this news article. I just want to say, squirrels are very clearly a lot smarter than I realize. Like if they are in fact doing this, I feel like it's quite possible that squirrel is in fact being vindictive. Like it's very possible that is actually on purpose. I'm not sure if you could really just say, oh, you know what, trees are actually what I'm supposed to do, but instead I'm going to destroy this man's vehicle, because how are you going to get those out of all the little spaces? It doesn't look like a newer vehicle where they're like literally, like the newer vehicles are all locked down and you can't really get into any of this stuff without actually like unlocking things and whatnot, because everything is computerized. But that looks like it's going to actually be a bit of a problem. I don't know what that guy did, if he cut down that squirrel's tree or stopped putting out bird feed, whatever it was. Obviously, we saw a squirrel robbing the seeds out of someone's literal pumpkin. We did. We were driving to, where were we heading? We were heading to Kaylee's birthday dinner last night. And I wanted so badly to be able to stop and record this for you guys because it was so cute. This squirrel had not only stolen this pumpkin, and it was not a small pumpkin. Okay, it was bigger than my head. It had rolled it away from this person's front porch where you could see other pumpkins set in a really nice, orderly way. Like they had it looking really nice. And this squirrel had stolen this pumpkin, and in front of the windows of the house was just digging into this pumpkin, right on the sidewalk. It was hilarious. I was like, oh man, these guys must have also stopped putting out bird seed for those poor squirrels, because it's getting its comeuppance. The squirrels were out big time around here when walking back from the rental place. Oh my goodness. I love it whenever there's a bunch of them and they're all just doing like different stuff, because I mean, they're squirrels and they're adorable. You can't see my squirrel. I'm sorry, little dude. Their comments are in the way, and their comments are actually slightly more important than you. But you can stay over there anyways if you want to. Anyways, I love me some squirrels. One more squirrel and then we'll get into the questions. This one is from Kaylee, not my daughter, but we have like 3 Kayleys, so this is a different Kaylee. And this is one of my favorite squirrel pictures that we see on the internet, because I feel like there's so many things that you could put that to. Like this squirrel is very clearly judging someone. What is it annoyed with? Pineapple on pizza, obviously, because the squirrels are on my side, you guys. They are. The squirrels are on my side because I feed them a lot every time I'm near them. I just constantly want to give them food because they're adorable and fluffy, and I think they're cute or fat. But anyways, oh, poor squirrels vandalizing cars and stealing pumpkins. They're a menace. They are, but I mean, it's fellow feeling. It's probably why I like them so much. They're a menace. I'm a menace. See how it works where that's why I approve so heartily, because they do things like this. Yep. Still just absolute perfection in GIF form. Okay, so some of the questions that you guys sent in. And if I missed anybody's questions, because it has been a couple of weeks, just resend them or let me know, because it has been a little bit of a hectic couple of weeks up in this house. So hopefully I didn't miss too much, but if I did miss something, you guys feel free to just continue to send me things so that I, when I forget, you remind me. It's helpful. It's not upsetting. It's extremely helpful. Not there, grammar fail. I'll send myself grammar. You know, Chris, I'm definitely not gonna be the one to correct you when it comes to grammar. I'm just thankful that there's such a thing as Grammarly out there for any time that I actually have to write. But okay, so the questions. Two of the questions are actually in reference to this month's end of the month holiday. Probably you guys are not aware of this, and that's just because of the circles we run in. But if you're not aware of this, there is actually 2 holidays this month. There is the main holiday, which is Reformation Day, and then there's Halloween, which is another holiday that is sort of like lesser in notice and importance and whatnot. So probably you guys haven't really heard a lot about that second one, but we all are aware of Reformation Day. So 2 of the questions are actually referred to that. So I'm really excited to get the chance to discuss this. I am constantly tempted to do new videos each year about these issues, but then I realized that, like, I mean, how many times should I bore you guys with the historical stuff that I think is cool about these things? Obviously, when it comes to Reformation Day, everybody wants to hear about that. That is also on October 31st. So weird that those 2 holidays are on the same holiday, the same day, but October 31st, 500 some odd years ago, Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses on the door in Gutenberg, probably mispronouncing that. But that's the interesting holiday. The other one, it has a lot of other, connotations and whatnot. So I just wanted to remind you that when I mention these holidays, I'm not talking about Reformation Day, because no one could argue against Reformation Day. It's the best. Wittenberg. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mayoshi. What did I say? Gutenberg? Is that a thing? I think I just made that word up. Wittenberg. Maybe if I was European, I could Wittenberg. But I'm not. I'm American, so I'm gonna have to say Wittenberg. Okay, so the questions. The first question came in from Mark. If you guys have, the W is pronounced as a V. Okay. That's funny. You could do a special every year for 95 years. I know, right, James? I'm telling you. Gutenberg was the printing press. Thank you, Chris. I had it in my head. I just didn't know why it was there. That happened. Yeah. Super ridiculous. James, I agree. We could literally talk about it. It's actually more fun on Thanksgiving because, I mean, not more fun. I guess it's a little bit less well known that the whole Puritans coming over here were like actual Calvinists and Reformed and whatnot. So Gutenberg was also a German inventor. I may have researched it just now. Yeah, he's the one that created the printing press. I'm going to give you guys a squirrel because I forgot to plug this bad boy in. And it's about to die because I'm still #not professional. Here's a squirrel. Squirrel holding a pineapple pizza. You guys can just stare at that for like 5 seconds. No worries. I mean, it's a cute squirrel. It really is. And don't worry, I'm just knocking over everything. So, whoops. Yep. Just knocking over all of the lights. It's okay. don't have to listen to me talk, though, right? It's like a break. Like a little mini break from my nonsense. There you go. You're welcome for that little mini break. No, I got it all put together. Thank you, though. Yep. Kaylee came down to make sure everything was okay because she's the most amazing daughter in the world. Okay, now. Okay, well, now that everything is slightly disheveled and you guys have had a little bit of a break, we still hear you. Good. That's good. I'm glad. I was hoping that I didn't leave you guys in silence whenever I could just be meandering around talking for no reason. But so the first couple of questions are actually about Halloween-ish stuff. Oh, that makes sense now. Luther pouted his 95 Theses. Oh, did I miss a question? I didn't. Let's see. 95 Theses and the Wittenberg door, and Gutenberg took the Wittenberg document and went to town. Yeah, exactly. November 1st is also a holiday celebrated mostly by Hispanics. It's Day of the Dead. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, Sandy. But that's technically in November, so it's not a conflicting Reformation Day holiday. We're good. I'm good with it. It's okay. It's not taking up the same day as Reformation Day, so I'm okay with that holiday. I might take a little bit of beef having to share Reformation Day with another holiday, but other than okay. So TPT. Oh, you'll have to tell. I can't remember who TPT is. You'll have to tell me because I cannot remember. It says disheveled hair is a sin. Oops. Well, we'll just pretend like everything is okay over here. The Passion Translation. Is that what that is? Oh, yuck. Wow, that's yikes. Okay, so the first question was sent in by Mark, and Mark asked if Christians should participate in harvest festivals. And I'm really glad that you asked this question. It's going to lead us right into the next question. Harvest festivals would be like what a lot of churches do in a way to give kids something that they can do safely, where they're not going door to door and they're not maybe participating in what some parents would find uncomfortable. And so it's like the trunk or treats, where you go from car to car to car. Now, there are a lot of people out there that say, well, I guess not a lot. There's a chunk of believers out there who would say that that's too close, that's taking this holiday that they don't agree with and Christianizing it, so you shouldn't do that. There is a really easy case to be made that there are harvest festivals and celebrations in the Bible. We see Boaz celebrating the end of year harvest. It's definitely something that we see happening in the Old Testament and throughout history, because before there was a Walmart, it was really exciting whenever your harvest came through. So I think it's actually really easy to make a case for the harvest festivals just being something that if you really if you're uncomfortable, if it's something that bothers your conscience, which a lot of people who were practicing Wiccans are uncomfortable with anything that's connected with that. If it's something that really is bothering your conscience, if it's something like that, then you shouldn't do it. But there's no reason to make a law against something like this to say nobody should do it because it makes me uncomfortable. Because it is something that we see in a scriptural context where there are biblical characters celebrating their harvest. Whether or not that was different than how we put it today, I don't see any reason why we can't, as believers, celebrate a harvest festival, thanking God for we wouldn't have a Walmart full of groceries if it wasn't for the farmers having a harvest. So I don't think that there's anything, I can't understand how, basically, I guess is what I'm trying to get, how people can take such a dim view of this. Now, obviously, if your conscience is pricked by this, don't do it. Just avoid it. But we do also have to make sure that we're not making laws where there's not any laws. And this is at least one thing for sure that is definitely, it's definitely difficult to actually biblically defend against. I would say that this, out of all of the different arguments, was the one that I had the most difficulty with. The dogs are. That this is the last time I'll ever record a live event down here with this nonsense. Wow. Anyways, so I definitely think if you are a believer and you want to do something like this at your church, where you are having something where the kids can go and they can enjoy it, and it's safe, and there's a lot of fun things that you can do, and you can share the gospel, and you can bring the community in, you can make sure that, this is a really, really great point in time of the year to make sure that if there are any people in your community that are in need of food and things like that, this is a great place to let people know if you have a food pantry and stuff like that. And then, of course, any time that you get the opportunity to share the gospel, that's always a good idea. So other than the fact that people seem to be uncomfortable, you should make a video on the false translations in the Bible. I think I have done a whole episode about how the Bible is, how we got the Bible that we have today, and I think in there I did mention a few of the more unsturdy, and a lot of times on air we have to have like conversations about the different translations, especially with the concerning move towards genderizing changes in the NASB. They did make some changes to gender. I'm sorry. They made some differences, some changes to the translations based on not wanting to offend people rather than actual biblical documents. That's concerning. Not enough for me to say, hey, stop reading your NASB, because it was just a couple of genders that went from being like men to like them, or like men and women kind of thing. So it wasn't like enough to be like, oh, bad NASB, don't ever use it again. But we have to keep our eye on those kind of things. Even whenever we say, oh, the ESV, the NASB, those are great translations. It still helps to have a good understanding of each different translation and how it's being updated each year. So we've had some conversations about that on air, and I think I did a video about that, maybe. But it's a good idea to do another one with all the translations that we have going on. It's really bad. So hopefully I answered that question to a satisfactory. Like my brain sort of went out of focus there for the end of that question, but hopefully I helped with that. I do think there's nothing wrong with harvest festivals, and if you're in a church and the harvest festival is including like this burning sage stuff and whatnot, that's not good. Don't do that. Don't do that. But harvest festivals in general, nothing wrong with that. Nothing unbiblical about that. Now, Mayoshi actually asked, because Mayoshi really, really loves to send squirrel brain. That's right, Chris. And is anybody surprised by that? No. Mayoshi loves to send me really easy questions each week so that I can feel really like comfortable and good about myself because of the easy questions that she's actually. Mayoshi likes to send questions that are really, really important. I'm going to give you guys a squirrel so that you don't have to keep watching me drink. I don't know why. All of a sudden, there's a little bit of a hard time with breathing, and I'm struggling with itchy throats and whatnot. But anyways, Mayoshi actually asked whether or not Christians should celebrate Halloween. So this is a totally different suggestion than fall harvest festivals, right? So it's a bigger topic. It's a bigger topic. It's something that we'll have to actually parse through, right? So, your son is being a pill. That's right. Can you hear him? I'm so sorry. Yeah, he's starting confrontations with Clementine right in front of all of my equipment. So, I should have brought the Nerf gun over here so I could scare them, but I forgot. Maybe when Kaylee comes down here, she'll hand me the Nerf gun and I can make them settle down because they're afraid of the Nerf gun. They're not afraid of me. But anyways, so bear with me as I answer this because I'm going to give you guys I'm going to give you guys an answer that might actually upset both sides. And I hate to do that, but I do think that it's important that we have a balance with these kind of things, because people do tend to take this out of balance, and they unfortunately take that balance, and they want everybody else to be out of balance with them, regardless of which way they feel about this. So, should Christians celebrate Halloween? It depends on the aspects of Halloween you're talking about. If you're talking about the putting on princess dresses and going door to door asking for candy, that actually has historic roots in things that are not demonic, things that are not unbiblical. So, Sandy, I think you mentioned the Day of the Dead earlier. There was a tradition in our country where people would go from door to door and collect little cakes, and the little cakes would have like money in it, and it would be for people who like were widows or had lost somebody, as a way to sort of help along with their financial needs if they lost something. And they did that on the day, the All Hallows Eve sort of day, as a way to help along with that, right? So pretty much a commercial event. Exactly. I know that people will say you want to avoid the appearance of evil. And that's absolutely true. If you're talking about Ouija boards or any kind of reference to witchcraft or any kind of religious connotations, pentagrams, Satanism, all that stuff, 100% mark and avoid it. That there's no question about that. I don't think that any professing Christian is really going to struggle being uncomfortable with that stuff in their house. And unfortunately, a lot of the Halloween stores do sell all of that stuff, all of the witchcraft stuff, and they sell it as like decorations and whatnot. Those are all things that 100% we need to avoid. Handing out gospel tracts on Halloween, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. If you're going door to door, which usually when we go like on Halloween, Kaylee has her little gospel tracts and she can hand them out, or if somebody comes to our door, we can hand them there. It's a great time to actually share. Oh, great way of flipping the script on this. Get tons of good candy and bag it with gospel tracts to give out. Exactly. That's exactly it, Chris. That's totally 100%. The way that I was trying to point that out. Yep, absolutely 100%. Hi, Cindy. I really have to stop going live on the same time as Prophecy Bingo. That's not helpful for anything, right? Okay. Just to make a note, because just make sure they're good tracks. Exactly. And I wish I had actually put links. I should have put some links in the descriptions for some good gospel tracks. Usually we order some from Living Waters, but a lot of the other guys have gospel tracks. Like Vody Bauckham has some really great gospel tracks. Obviously, Wretched Radio does as well. So it's a great opportunity to share the gospel. If you are uncomfortable with this, don't participate. If you're uncomfortable with this at all, if it pricks your conscience, don't participate. That's totally fine. But to say that somebody else is sinning because they are passing out gospel tracts is an odd one. It's an odd one. It's an odd argument that I see being made every year. Are there definitely like Wiccan and Druid connections to different aspects of the holiday? Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. There are little things that I could tell you, but I'm not, because I don't know if children are watching. But there are some things about Easter that turned my stomach, and I can't look at dying eggs the same ever again, because it was too gross. It was just absolutely gross. That being said, once again, going back to the point where we don't want to make a law where there is no law, it's important when we look at what Paul says. He's talking about not eating meat sacrificed to demons. And he's like, if you got some meat sacrificed to demons, eat the meat. God made the meat. Demons, they're nothing. Give glory to God. Eat the food, but don't cause one another to stumble. You have liberty to share gospel tracts. And this is one day of the year that nobody is going to think it's weird that you're handing them something. It's probably one of the only days of the year that nobody is going to say, oh, no, thank you. You can just hand them all out. You can just hand out all of the gospel tracts, all of them. Is it wrong to have pumpkins and hay outside? No, absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with putting weird, ugly gourds, the weird ones with the bumps too. I don't understand that. I think that they look really weird, but a lot of people think they're pretty and they put them outside next to hay. That's totally fine. It's not witchcraft. It's not connected to any of that stuff. So we tend to take these important things, like we do want to avoid the evil that is sold on these nights. Like I mentioned, the Ouija boards and stuff like that. We want to avoid that. But what we tend to do as believers is we tend to take that and we tend to say the whole day is now garbage. The whole day is garbage. But the problem with that is that you're making a law where there is no law, and you're imposing that on other people and saying that they're sinning because they are not doing what you are uncomfortable doing. That's where the problem comes in. So we have to be really, really careful with our balance. If you're uncomfortable with this, I think that's fantastic. I think that you should have opinions about this. You should know where you stand on these things. That's great. If you're uncomfortable with it and you're following your conscience, I think that's great. If you are comfortable with this and you have liberty to do that, we are not called to boast about our liberty. That's 100% not something that we're supposed to do. If you know somebody that's uncomfortable with it, do not send them pictures of yourself handing out gospel tracts. They are uncomfortable with it. It pricks their conscience. Don't boast in your liberty. This is one of the things that really, really bothers me about people who post pictures of themselves, like maybe drinking or whatever it is that I can't really think of anything else liberty-wise that is a big contention right now. But there are people out there who take their liberty and they boast about it. Not only do they boast about it, but they post about it. And that's worse because you're boasting about it publicly for everybody to see. We have liberty for these things. So we need to make sure that we are being loving with our liberty and not boastful. Be thankful that we have liberty to go out and pass out gospel tracts any day of the year. Be thankful that there's a day of the year where children and their parents are coming. And it's one of the best things about it. You can hand gospel tracts both to the children and to the parents. And they'll all take it. They have no idea. You could be handing them dollars. They have no idea. They'll take it. They're like, yes, free stuff. Today is the only day of the year where I can personally snatch up anything anybody hands me and stick it in this little bag, and it's going to be great. That's the balance that I think is important to maintain, because I don't ever want to sit here and just say blankly, yep, sure, do it. Do whatever you want. Or blankly, absolutely not. That's not okay. Neither of those positions is biblical. Both of those positions need balance. Just like with anything else. It's the same thing that happens with Christmas every year, where people are like, this is a pagan holiday and it's celebrated with this and it's celebrated with that. And then other people are like, no, Martin Luther cut down a tree and he's the one that put lights on it and all that stuff. So these are historical arguments, not biblical arguments. If you're uncomfortable, don't do it. But also, if you are comfortable and you have liberty to do it, don't throw it in somebody else's face. It's the exact same thing with pretty much everything except for pineapple pizza. That's the only place where it is okay to make a law where there is no law, and you guys need to stop, okay? You need to stop with your sinning. It's getting to be very discouraging for those of us that are sanctified in our taste buds, okay? Just saying. But anyways, okay, so hopefully that was a good clarification. I didn't want to get into like the historical stuff because I feel like there's probably a lot of other people that are going to be doing that this month. And if you learn about the historical stuff, about any of the holidays that we celebrate, I promise you, there is nothing more disturbing than the Easter holiday historical stuff. It's bad. It's really a lot worse. It is. I have a law in my house that no shellfish is cooked. Tammy. You're so funny. No shellfish, but don't you like pineapple on your pizza? Sorry. Okay. We're digressing. It's gonna be okay. So speaking of Reformation Day, my church has a tradition of celebrating the German Bible that Martin Luther got going, but I'm confused why it's not a Reformation-focused celebration. Do you guys know? A lot of people actually just aren't even aware that's all connected. Or maybe they're trying to avoid the words because there are so many negative connotations with, oh no, Tammy, that's awful. I am so sorry. Definitely there's a law in your house, no shellfish. You have an excuse for that. I'm live right now. I'm live on air, and you have to go. You're cute and really, really fluffy, but I have to focus, and you're making it more difficult. I can't. Nope. Wow. He likes to knock my headphones out of my ears. He thinks it's really cute. Okay. So, 2 more questions, and then we'll move on to requests and Oreos. Let's see here. Cutest boy ever. That's because he's your son, and you don't mess with the squirrel. He was thinking about it. They've been trying to get a hold of the squirrel since I got him. See, Mel, and also hi, Mel. I'm glad to have you here. See, that's the thing. If it makes you uncomfortable, then don't be a part of it. Absolutely, 100%. There are a lot of connections with various things. His tie matches your top. It does. I didn't even do that on purpose. How fun is that? Huh, weird. I didn't even mean to have a top that matches. That's just super fun. Clearly, since the squirrel is an evil menace. Hi from South Africa. Oh, hi, Linity Ann. Oh, what a pretty name. I'm glad to have you here as well. Yeah, I definitely think if you're talking about the occultic stuff about Halloween, that's why I make that a little bit more specific, less generalized statement. If we're talking about the Ouija boards or the pentagrams or pretty much anything that's connected with Satan worship or Wiccanism or goddess worship, all of that stuff, that's all the stuff that we need to mark and avoid, obviously. And I feel like that's really, really obvious to professing believers that we don't want to have anything to do with that. And people who aren't aware maybe of those connotations, eventually they will be made aware, and then they'll be like, oh, wow, okay, I don't want to have that in my house either. But that's totally different than going door to door with gospel tracts or handing out gospel tracts with candy. That's a completely different situation. So that's why I made that distinction. A lot of times people who are uncomfortable with Halloween will say, if you celebrate Halloween, you're sinning. Whereas the other side of the group is saying, I'm handing out gospel tracts to families that are coming to my door because I literally never have anybody. The only people who come to my door is the Amazon package delivery people. So, except for one day of the year, whenever people are coming to your doors. So, it's really important that we make a specific effort not to say everything about Halloween is sinful. That's actually an imbalanced perspective of the whole day. Obviously, the day is October 31st, which is actually just, it's Reformation Day. If the pagans and the heathens want to celebrate, let them celebrate. They're already lost, but we already have Reformation Day. We already had a holiday on that day. We don't need a different holiday for that day because we have Reformation Day already on the same day. Same idea of the Torah keepers who say exactly. And see, Kristen, I think that because I fell into that so heavily whenever I first got saved, that it helped me. And I'm very thankful to God that he didn't leave me there for very long and that he let me learn through that experience, that I learned how important it was to have balance and to not take things to an extreme that the Bible never tells us to do. How are kids going to wear masks with Cindy G? That sounds uncomfortable. I would, as the wife of a respiratory therapist who frequently explains to me the problems with, those masks and how gross they get, especially for children, I would not recommend having your kid out with a mask on top of a mask. That sounds like a bad idea, CO2 wise. But speaking of Reformation Day, the next question that got sent to me actually via email is this wonderful sister was asking how she can better understand Calvinism. This particular sister came out of some really unbiblical churches, and thankfully God has led her out of that. But she was wondering if I had any advice for understanding the doctrines of grace, which if you're trying to get all of the falsehood out of your brain and you're trying to understand what's true and what's not true about what you've learned and what you are being taught, it can be really difficult to at the same time hear all of these big words and all of these different doctrines and ideas and things that most churches aren't talking about. It can be really, really hard to pick up on all of these different things, and it's really intimidating, actually, whenever you're like a newer believer and you're hearing, even now, like 6 years later, I'm still hearing words that I've never heard before every time I listen to some of these more intelligent people. They're talking about things I don't understand, and it still takes me aback where I'm just like, well, I thought I learned all the words. Why do you have more? And these ones have even more syllables. So I put a couple of links in the descriptions for some stuff that helped me whenever I was trying to grasp the basics of these sort of deep theological stuff. Pretty hard in the beginning when you first look at apologetics. Exactly. It really, really is. I like the idea of Reformation Day, kind of God thumbing his nose at Satan. Yeah, I like it too, Melly. I think it's super fun. And a lot of churches actually do get together and they do celebrate Reformation Day, because there are places out there, there are websites that sell Reformation Day party supplies, which is super cute. I have yet to remember in time to order that, but it's a cute thing. So I put in the descriptions two of the things that really, really helped me whenever it came to trying to better understand Calvinism, the doctrines of grace, that good stuff. The first one being the Westminster Confession for children. So the questions that they ask for kids, I was going through it with Kaylee, whenever she was younger, whenever I first got involved in all of the Reformed Calvinistic stuff. And I was trying to understand it all, and I found this, and I thought, this is so cool. I can't wait to, teach this to Kaylee. And so we started incorporating it into her lessons. And while I was going through it with her, I learned so much doctrine and so many things in a really, really great, easy to understand way that now whenever newer believers are like, I don't really understand, can you help me understand? And I'm like, here's the kids' version of Westminster's Confession. Try that first. It will help. Hi, I'm doing something right now. So here's our producer just came to make sure that sound quality is good. So she just wants to make sure everybody can hear me well. All the cords are plugged in, Mrs. Producer. This is Clementine. If you guys have ever written me a nasty, mean, hateful email, they all get sent to Clementine because she's my producer, and she can't read. So she never reads them. Also, she can't respond to them because she does not, in fact, have opposable thumbs. But the catechism, I'm saying confessions. Catechism, yes. The Westminster Catechism. That's the thing. I love you, but I need you behind the scenes, actually, because producers aren't supposed to be seen or heard. They're just supposed to be amazing behind the scenes. So, but she's usually not very cuddly, and she's being cuddly right now, so definitely has to happen while I'm live. Anyways, the catechism, that's what I meant to say. The Westminster Catechism for kids, the questions and the explanations, they're really, really great. They're really easy to go along with. That helped me. And then I could understand, once I had a basis for understanding, then I could better understand the grown-up version, right? Cuddle that baby. I'm cuddling her. She's a good producer. I mean, technically, she's literally never done a day's work in her life, but that's okay. She's cute and fluffy and soft, so that's all that matters. Okay, so I also put in the descriptions a link to a book review of Calvin's Institutes. It's another thing that I always recommend. I would recommend going through the Catechism first because some of the Institutes is a little bit more advanced. Okay, all of the Institutes are more advanced, but it's always so funny to me that this was a primer. Calvin's Institutes was a primer for the Christian faith. And today it's like, it's all doctrine that's not being taught anywhere at all, in churches. And that's really, really sad. So I put a link to those two things. If you're struggling with understanding Reformed theology, Calvinism, doctrines of grace, all that good stuff. One of those books I still need to get a copy of. Hey, Chris, it's like in the, public domain. So, free. If you just download it, that's what I did. Hi. I downloaded it for free. They even have a shorter version of it, like a condensed version of it, because I read the big one, like with all four books. But they do have a shorter, condensed version of the Institutes. But there are links in that article, in that book review, of all the different ways that you can read the Institutes. I recommend it. I was concerned because I had heard people talking about how Reformed Christians weren't real Christians. And yeah, but I like physical copies too. Oh, sorry, Chris, you're out of luck. Do you have a really great printer? If you have a really great printer, you can just print it, but then it's not really a book copy. It's just paper. Yeah. I bet you they have some cheaper copies of it, though, somewhere. My name is Chris, and I'm a bookaholic. Chris, how many books do you have right now that you aren't actually, you haven't actually read yet? And how many books do you have waiting to buy that you have like a certain amount of books that you have to read first? Because that's important. Because we travel, I have to be careful with how many books that we have in the house. I can't like overdo it with books. Last question. This one came in from Myoshi's husband, which was really fun. This is a hilarious question, so I'm glad to leave off on the questions with this fun thing. Why do squirrels not just live in nut trees instead of going to get the nuts and bringing them to a completely different tree? And I can only assume that the reason for this is because they need the fun little hovel, right? I'm assuming that's what it is. And or they're trying to hide their squirrel stashes from other squirrels and other critters, and maybe it would be too obvious for them. I have to assume that with as crafty and intelligent as squirrels are, that they have a really good reason for not just setting up shop in a tree where their food comes from. I'm assuming that that's the case. Just a thought. So you guys are so funny in the comments. I wish I was a bookaholic. Being dyslexic makes it a little bit more difficult to like really get into paperback. I can do audio books all day long, and Kindle because I can make my phone read it to me. Okay, so I have a few suggestions for you guys, and then we have a ton of Oreos to try. Sis, do you want to come down and get ready to try these Oreos with me? Because I'm just about ready to try these Oreos, and hopefully Clementine will behave herself because she's super jealous whenever Kaylee pays anybody else besides her attention, and she's already being super needy. Come down here and get your dog, okay? Come down here, get your dog, eat these Oreos, and yep, she's already excited that Kaylee's coming down. Clementine's pretty much like, I tolerate everybody else in the house, but Kaylee is my favorite. You ready? Oh, here, you sit over here and I'll scoot over. Okay. That way you don't have to walk around all that stuff.
Thanks, pal.
You're welcome.
Do you remember when I knocked over your green screen?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Hashtag we are not professional.
We are not professional.
Hi, guys. Hi, Clem. Okay.
There we go.
Hi, producer.
Yeah, there's the producer. She really loves Kaylee. Do you want to trade me spots so she can't do that?
Maybe.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys a squirrel while we work out our dog problem. Here you go.
She's so heavy.
She's so heavy. Okay, if you'll move this away. Oh, Carkle. If you wow. Now they're following you. You go that way. Okay. Do not make me get the Nerf gun, Clementine. Wow, that did not work. I wish that the camera had been on you so that everybody could have seen the way that Clementine just dove around me to get to you. Are you okay, though? Clementine's just basically holding Kaylee down right now. So...
Bone? Get her a bone!
Do you guys want a bone? Do you wanna get them one? Oh, you're good though. You're good now. Okay.
I'm fine.
Wow.
We're back.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Clementine
Get off of me, please.
really does not like to share.
Okay.
Don't make me get.
Protect me, Mama.
I'm sorry. I'll protect you.
Well,
It's actually me giving Kaylee attention that's making Clementine upset.
Okay. Well, I
Okay. We have lots of Oreos though to try.
Okay.
In honor of your birthday, happy birthday because you turned
11 yesterday.
11 yesterday, and Mommy and Daddy cried. We cried because she's so big now, and it was sad, but happy sad.
I was not sad.
You were not sad because you wanted to be 11. Clementine, you're not getting any Oreos. Nope.
Because I like getting gifts.
Oh yes, that too. That's always fun. And we are very
She's
thankful for everybody who said happy birthday. Yeah.
And Mama, she shaped the best looking volcano cake ever.
It was bad. It was really bad. She's just being sweet.
Okay, the best looking
Go on.
volcano cake that I've seen in person.
Okay, but you made the lava. So
Well,
she
you
wanted
made-
a science themed birthday. So we had a science themed birthday, and the cake was a lava cake. Okay, so here is the first Oreo. I'm
What
gonna.
flavor is it?
No, ma'am.
Get off of, please. Get off now.
It's a little bit more difficult to keep her away from the Oreos whenever we're on the couch. I have no idea what this flavor is. This came from a different country, and I can't read it, but they're really pretty. They're like lime green on the inside and pink on the outside,
Maybe
but they smell horrible.
Oh my gosh, they smell horrific.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a lime and strawberry.
I think this might be the machi.
Mochi?
Yeah, I think this might be that. Are you ready?
Oh my gosh, I tried it and I hated it so much.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, Purple.
That was bad. We should not have started with that. We should not have started about that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was so bad. What is that even?
Medicine.
I have no idea. It tastes like you're chewing on tea. It does. It tasted like you were chewing on tea.
We don't like tea.
Ugh.
In this house we drink soda, not tea.
Happy birthday. Here's your disgusting Oreo. I love you. Matcha. Great source of caffeine. It definitely tasted like you're just eating straight caffeine. Leaves.
Do people actually like that? Junk? Don't try that.
It was gross. It was
Do
really,
not
really
try
gross. Okay. This one I also don't know about. I don't know what kind it is, but it looks better. It looks like a little bit of a wafery type of Oreo.
Please be chocolate.
It looks chocolatey. I have no idea what the flavor is, but
For all we know, it could be coffee beans.
that's true. It just smells like chocolate.
Okay. It
Ready,
looks like
one?
Oreo on the inside.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's true. I should show them that, huh? Yeah, it looks okay. It looks good.
It's so hard to position myself. How do you do this on like a weekly basis?
Mostly I just fail miserably each week.
It smells chocolatey.
It does.
2, 1. Oh, that is amazing.
That's actually pretty good.
Melt in your mouth, chocolate.
That's better. It tastes like another butter bar without the peanut butter.
Yeah, and that means it's not too sweet.
Yeah, I like that.
So do I.
That's not bad.
It doesn't make up for these.
It doesn't make up for the pink ones. The pink ones are horrible. Worse than birthday cake. 100%. 100% worse than.
I'm trying to show it without. Okay, never mind. Okay, trying to show it without the stuff getting in the way.
Okay, we have another mystery pack though.
Oh crap!
Remember the mystery pack?
Those are pretty good.
They were chocolate covered. Now these came from Europe, so I have some from Japan here, but these particular ones came from Europe, and they actually look like they're exactly the same. Oops.
I think they are.
They don't look any different than the last ones.
How much? Yeah.
for a mystery pack. I'm not sure.
Kind of sad.
It just look like Oreos covered in fudge.
I'm really hungry. So.
Okay, those are good. Pink flavored Oreos are a no-go. Yeah, 100%. Those were really bad. It actually did taste like straight tea. Like, I don't know if you've ever been steeping tea and the bag breaks, but you don't really pay attention to it, and then you just get like a mouthful of the tea leaves.
No, come and try. Oh well, you would do.
That's kind of what that tastes like. It was really gross.
Put it on my face.
These are pretty good. Oh boy, she just accidentally grabbed the gross pink Oreo. She's gonna regret that because they're disgusting. Okay, we have two more to try. Coconut or caramel cream next. You're a trooper. You're just being an absolute trooper. I was like, since it's your birthday, we should try extra. It's so horrible. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's not really a reward, is it?
No, not really. It's more of a punishment.
It is really a punishment. How dare you turn another year? Knock it off. Oh,
gosh,
boy, those.
Like,
wow,
they're stuffed to the brim. They're more stuffed than the most stuffed. You think?
They smell quite potent.
Oh my goodness! They don't smell like caramel or coconut.
Ready? 1, 2,
Like coffee.
3. Uh-oh. I don't want to puke on air. I don't want to puke on air. I'm sorry. That was too sweet.
Oh, the aftertaste! The aftertaste!
It has some sort of extreme sweetness to it that's just not...
Did they add, like, super sugar?
The aftertaste is all pure coconut, but the first original, like, taste of it is just 100%, like,
sugar.
Extreme... Like sucking on Sweet and Low.
The first taste, it's okay, but then you get, like, a bite of coconut.
I didn't taste any caramel to it. It smells kind of caramelly, but...
It smells like those. It smells just like coffee beans.
It does, yeah. It smells more coffee-ish.
For a person who goes to a perfume store just specifically to smell coffee beans.
Yeah, I love that they have those little coffee beans there.
And that's if I could get a perfume that was just coffee beans.
Lauren sets a new bar for her show, on air vomiting. Just when you thought we couldn't lower the bar any further down, aspartame. Yes, that's what it tasted like. It really did.
Roses are red, chocolate is brown. I had no expectation for you, and still you let me down.
Still I let you down. That's my favorite poem.
It is.
It sums up my whole life. Okay, this one is chocolate marshmallow Oreo.
I'm worried.
Oh, it smells like Play-Doh.
Oh,
I don't think it should not smell like Play-Doh, but it does.
It smells exactly like Play-Doh. Oh
It legitimately smells like Play-Doh.
I hope this doesn't taste like Play-Doh. It's probably gonna taste like my Play-Doh.
Oh, but look at the cookie. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but the cookie actually looks like it has flecks of marshmallow.
Oh yeah.
That's in fact not mold.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
They've been here for a long time.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I get a strong hint of Play-Doh.
It tastes like Play-Doh. It does in fact.
Tastes like Play-Doh.
Oh no.
Thank you.
It was worse. It was worse than the caramel coconut.
Well, if you're one of those kids who eat straight Play-Doh for fun, get this cookie.
Oh no. Oh no. You're eating more of it? What's wrong with I love this child.
I needed.
Are you sure those aren't Play-Doh?
I'm not really sure that they are. They smell like Play-Doh. They taste
Why would
like
chocolate marshmallow flavored Oreos
taste like
smell like Play-Doh and taste like Play-Doh? That is so weird.
Maybe they added a bit of Play-Doh to the formula.
It legitimately smells like and tastes just like Play-Doh. That is weird and disturbing and disgusting.
You see this and you're thinking, oh, look at this chocolate Oreo.
Yeah.
And then you smell it and you taste it and it tastes like Play-Doh.
It was bad. It was really bad. Thanks
horrible.
for doing that with me though. I appreciate you. I love you, kiddo. Happy birthday.
Thanks, pal.
Stop growing up so fast though.
I don't think I will.
You don't think I will? I love you bunches.
Thanks everyone who wished me a happy birthday. Bye guys.
Bye. You could just take your horrible dogs with you. They're terrible, horrible dogs.
Did we give them lunch?
I think so.
Okay.
Also, if you'll take that too. That was really bad, you guys. What, 2 out of 5 were edible?
Yeah. The wafers and the chocolate covered Oreos.
Yoshi says maybe you can take the cream center out and play with it and make squirrels out of it.
That's a good idea, my Yoshi.
Ugh. It's still awfully Play-Doh-y in my mouth right now. Like, it just really is Play-Doh flavored. Why? Why did that happen? I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Thank you for suffering along with me, though.
You're welcome.
Okay. Few suggestions, then I have a sneak peek for you, and I'll let you guys all go. Thank you for sitting through that. Now you know which Oreos to ignore, which is pretty much all of them except for the mega stuffed and most stuffed. Those are just two that you know for sure is going to be okay. I mean, double stuffed, if you really feel like going through the trouble of having to put two double stuffed together so that you get most stuffed, obviously that's what you need to do. But you're welcome for once again trying these disgusting Oreos. Well, I don't know why Oreo can't seem to handle making a cookie that tastes good. That's not their regular cookie, because it's bad. It's really so bad. It's awful. That was just I don't know. The tea one was worse. Yeah, the tea one was worse. The tea one was way worse. I just can't understand the rest of it, though. At least the tea one, though, tasted like what it was supposed to taste like. Whereas the chocolate marshmallow one was Play-Doh, which is very upsetting. So, just a lady request to please keep Edwards in your prayer. Yes, Sandy, thank you for reminding us that I did put, I forgot to, oh, you guys are so cute with the like button. I put Pastor Edwards' GoFundMe account link in the descriptions again, because you guys, he is in recovery and he's doing well, but there are still going to be a certain period of time where he is having to go through recovery, and it's a long process. So if you guys could continue praying for him, and if you have the ability to help support financially, there is a link to that. If you don't have the ability to support financially, sharing his GoFundMe account is actually a really helpful thing to get that moved around on social media and stuff like that. But also, of course, prayer for Pastor Edward while he continues his recovery. Very, very thankful that so far everything seems to be good on the infection front. There we go. Infection. I can say words. It's okay. It's getting late. So my recommendations that I have for you guys in the list below. Over the next 3 weeks, Cave of the Cross Apologetics is going to be covering the Reformed critique of libertarian free will. And I have to tell you, even though Patrick says it hurts to critique anything with libertarian in it, I'm really looking forward to this. Probably just because I'm contrarian by nature, but pretty much any time that I really agree or enjoy something, I really like to hear opposite opinions or things that poke holes in it and all that good stuff. So I'm excited about this. They always do such a great job, Patrick and Tony. I'm super excited about that. I also put a link to AGTV. If you guys haven't already heard the really, really great news, Open Hearts in a Closed World, the women's conference that we put on once a year, is actually going to be coming out with some content monthly. And Brooke and Erin and I and all the other ladies on the team, we're all really, really excited about this. Squirrel hunting Lauren can't handle. She would never stop crying. My goodness. Did you see my comment before cookie time? I did not see it. I'm so sorry. Will you retype it for me? I just noticed that my phone is about to die, or else I would zoom back through to look and see. But I think it's actually about to die. So I forgot what I was talking about because somebody said something about squirrel hunting, and I love squirrel hunting. The idea of that sounds fantastic, and I want to do that. Okay, so but the stuff I was telling you about with the Open Hearts in Closed World content is going to be on AGTV. So Brandon Kimber has been so amazing and so supportive of the Open Hearts Conference, and we were really, really humbled by his partnership this past year. And for him to give us a platform to continue to share the gospel and to further edify and encourage women in the church. We're all really, really excited about this. So If you are already a member of AGTV, you'll have that extra content there. There's going to be some access to different kinds of content on podcast form as well. Didn't want to inconvenience you at all. You missed my question from 2 weeks ago. It's not an inconvenience. I'm so thankful for you. Anytime anybody reminds me is you can ask Kaylee. I'm very, very always thankful. Always thankful for people reminding me of anything, ever. All of the reminders. Oh, we're signed up. That's so great, Chris. I'm so excited. That is awesome. Okay, yeah, there is a sign-up sheet, and I think I forgot to link to it in the descriptions, but if you go to openheartsinaclosedworld.com, there's a sign-up sheet to get emails, email updates, and the newsletter and all that good stuff so that you can keep track of everything. But once a month over on AGTV, I'll have a bit of unique content. So there's going to be the first week will be Brooke and Aaron Coates doing a podcast where they're basically going through scripture. So 2 Timothy is where they're going to start, and it's a Bible study setup where they're going, verse by verse. And then the second episode of the month will be Brooke Bartz, and you guys are going to be super pumped about this because so many of you ladies have asked me about this. She's actually going to be doing like a book club with her book Chronic Love, and she's going to be reading portions of a chapter and talking about like the background of why she wrote that portion and all that good stuff. And then the last episode of the month will be me doing interviews with different people about that particular chapter or digging a little bit deeper into each topic that is suggested in each chapter. So that content won't be available here on Tulips and Honey. It's only going to be available over there on the Open Hearts, AGTV and Open Hearts content places. So if you're like really not tired of me yet, here's a chance for you to get a little bit extra, but I'll probably be way more serious and professional over there. My question was commented on your community post 2 weeks ago where you said you were going to live stream Saturday. It's way too long though. I assumed you might summarize or something. Okay, I will grab that then and totally add that to, I will summarize that and add it to next week's so that I would grab it now, but I think I'm pretty sure if I touch my phone it's gonna die. I should have plugged it in. I totally should have plugged it in, but I didn't. Serious and professional. That happens only whenever I'm forced to, Chris, and whenever somebody else is expecting it. So I mean, professional and serious for me though. Like, I probably will still have the squirrel in the background, but I probably won't show videos of a skiing squirrel during the interviews. See what I'm saying? Like, there'll be some modicum of, I would really rather you not get into these disgusting Oreos, Clementine. They need to go in the trash because they're gross. The producer's trying to clean up for me. And as much as I appreciate her cleaning up, I don't think it's going to help her tummy to eat Play-Doh flavored Oreos. Nope. Mm-mm. And somebody said something about caffeine with the green ones. That definitely can't be. There's a spectrum. Yes, that's right, Chris. That's right. There's a whole spectrum of professionalism. And obviously the live event is at the bottom of that, And then directly above the live event is my Monday episodes. And then everything else that everybody else in the entire world does is above that. So... Sorry. Okay, let's see. What else did I want to mention to you guys? Okay. Paul Washer's Heart Cry Missionary Society, their YouTube channel posted a new testimony from Russia, which I definitely recommend you guys watch. Absolutely very encouraging, very edifying. Obviously, clearly we need to be praying for our brothers and sisters over there. So that is in the links in the descriptions down below, as well as all of the podcasts. If I've mentioned podcasts, I think I saw Josh from the Godcast podcast on here. His YouTube channel is linked in the descriptions down below, as well as pretty much every other podcast that's available. I also put in the descriptions the Tuesday night women's Bible study that Kristen, Alexis, and Jess do. They each take turns each week, and they do a fantastic job. It's a Zoom Bible study. So if you're a woman and you want to attend that, if you're a man and you try to attend that, they will kick you out. So just remember. Oh, West Eden. Thank you for reminding me, Chris. Oh, but I didn't put their link in the descriptions. Fiddlesticks, apparel and gift site. And was it westeden.com? I meant to grab that link. I was so excited about that. Fiddlesticks. I'll try to remember that for next week too, and I can just keep it in the descriptions all the time. And I think that's all I have here. Just going through, making sure that I didn't forget anything. I didn't. I totally didn't. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, but I do have a really long sneak peek for you guys that you can get an idea of what is coming over on Monday. I'm super excited. You guys, the next few weeks, it'll be Kristen and Patrick. And then after that, Kristen and I actually got to interview the third teacher of that Bible study, Jess, and we talked about some fantastic stuff. So, I definitely encourage you, ladies, if you have Tuesday nights available, I try as often as I'm awake or functioning by that time to join in. Sometimes I'm awake and not functioning, like right now, and it doesn't help for me to try to learn things whenever my brain shuts down. But the times that I do get to go, it's always absolutely fantastic. They do a wonderful job. They're strictly biblical, theologically sound ladies, and they're doing a great job considering how much mush and junk there is out there for women. So I do encourage you guys to check that out, unless you're a man, in which case don't check it out. But also I encourage you to look forward to this upcoming episode, because here's your sneak peek, and I will see you guys all on Monday. I love you, wonderful humblebees. Bye. As a way of encouraging your own self to get up, because I know for me, I have to pump myself up just to go to Walmart. So I'm like, I've got to give myself all the reasons why. Don't just order the groceries this time. Actually go. You're as a way of encouraging your own self to get up, because I know for me, I have to pump myself up just to go to Walmart. So I'm like, I've got to give myself all the reasons why. Don't just order the groceries this time. Actually go.
You're out of Oreos. You need more Oreos.
I have so many Oreos right now, you guys. I have a whole stash of Oreos. I'm not going to be. I'm sorry. Don't derail me, Patrick. Jeez. No.
I'll keep you on the right track.
Oh, derailed track. It is something that I have to do. I have to remind myself quite a bit, like during the week, all day, every day. We tell ourselves the gospel over and over again. We work through these things, in our mind. And whenever it's coming up towards Sunday, one of the things that I can help myself with is, this is a person, this is a human being. My pastor is a person, and it's an encouragement to him whenever you are a consistent member each Sunday making your way to church, instead of just, popping in every now and then whenever you feel like it. That's discouraging, and we want to be encouraging, and we need to serve. There's no way to serve if you're not going. So there's lots of little details about that. But it's also possible that some of these folks are actually in a situation where they are in a church. They just aren't in a solid church. And that's a problem right now because of CRT. So we're seeing over the last year, churches and people who we thought, you guys were semi-solid. I probably wouldn't have recommended several of them, but they were supposed to be semi-solid, and they're just like flat out Francis Channing us. Only instead of going towards, calling Catholic priests their brothers, they're heading towards CRT. So there's a lot of people that have now found themselves, after having been solid members of churches for like decades or however much time, they're now seeing they can't remain in the specific churches. So how do they leave a church? What do you guys think is the best way to walk away from a church? If that's the case, if they have to, not for something silly like beards or decaf coffee. Don't do that.
I mean, there's we've talked about this in the past. There's a couple of ways. If you've been involved though for a long time, it's definitely worth it to bring it to the pastor's attention. Hey, like I'm seeing this is not right, and bring biblical evidence of why it's not right. Kind of like what I had to do, and hopefully, prayerfully, they would accept that. But
Kristen, when you did that, I'm sorry, I'm curious about this really quickly. When you did that, because this was all new to you, did somebody tell you that was the biblical way to go about it, or did you just say this is the right way? This is the way that I'm supposed to do it. How did you know? Because Patrick's right. That's one of the first things I thought about whenever you were first telling me that story while we were driving to see Justin Peters. And I had just stolen you away in my vehicle, and it was the first time you'd ever met me. And I was like, "Get in my van. We're going to see some cool stuff." And I was like, "I have candy," and you jumped in my car, and the candy was.
And she didn't have any candy. Everybody knows
there was no candy. It was Justin Peters, and Justin Peters couldn't even make it that day, so we ended up having to go again. But anyways, the first time you told me that story, I did think the same thing, Patrick. I was like, this lady here is telling me that she did this biblical thing But I don't hear that beforehand you were actually like taught that this was a biblical thing, which is probably why they were so shocked by it. But how did you get to that point where you're like, you know what, I need to talk to them about this first?
Concern. I was concerned. I had just been told the gospel, and my life had changed in a radical way, like just a radical transformation in my life. And I had so much concern, and I had so much love for these people because they were my family for so long, and I wanted them to know the truth just like I had been told the truth. And so I was like, I have to tell them. I have to tell them. They're going to be so excited. If not excited, they're going to be like, oh, thank you. This is great. How come we never saw this? How come we never noticed this? That was my, that's why I wanted to do it. That's out of concern, out of love for them. Unfortunately,
having built that closeness, having understood that this isn't just a social club, that these are people that you're coming together with and sharing this a deep impacting message in your life. You just don't get up and leave. Like it's like another family. It's something that you approach people with, and you're like, oh, hey, I'm trying to make sure that we're on the right path here as a family. You probably didn't want to leave if you didn't have to, but obviously there are circumstances where like any non-marriage relationship, a divorce from that group or body or person might be the best thing to both continue in peaceful separate relations.